ज्ञानतिभ्रान्तस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथां ह्यं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलान् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललित श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। सप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। Okay, let me share the screen. Who would like to read? I don't know if Satish Prabhu, have you read the first part of this chapter? I don't remember who read it.
No, Prabhuji, I didn't read it.
Okay.
But I can
Some of
read.
the participants read? Yeah. Someone from the participants, did you read this first half of the chapter? If not, then yeah, Satish Prabhu.
Yes.
You may begin reciting.
Sure. From 13, right? Okay. The Lord is very satisfied with his...
Please start with reciting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om
3
Namo
times.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 30. The Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. Text 14. One who actually satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions, thus being freed from all material modes of nature. He achieves unlimited spiritual bliss. Text 15. The creation of the material world begins with 5 elements, and thus everything, including the body of a man or a woman, is created of these elements. By the sexual life of man and woman, the number of men and women in this material world is further increased. Manu continued, my dear King Dhruva, it is simply by the illusionary material energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead and by the interaction of the 3 modes of material nature that creation, maintenance, and annihilation takes place. My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. He is the remote cause of the creation of this material cosmic manifestation. When he gives the impetus, many other causes and effects are produced, and thus the whole universe moves, just as iron moves with integrated force of a magnet. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable supreme energy, time, causes the interaction of the 3 modes of material nature, and thus varieties of energy become manifest. It appears that he is acting, but he is not the actor. He is killing, but he is not the killer. Thus, it is understood that only by his inconceivable power is everything happening. My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is ever existing, but in the form of time, he is the killer of everything. He has no beginning, although he is the beginning of everything, nor is he ever exhaustible, although everything is exhausted in due course of time. The living entities are created through the agencies of the Father and killed through the agency of death. But he is perpetually free of birth and death. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his feature of eternal time, is present in the material world and is neutral towards everyone. No one is his ally and no one is his enemy. Within the jurisdiction of the time element, everyone enjoys or suffers the result of his own karma or putative activities. As when the wind blows, small particles of dust fly in the air. So, according to one's particular karma, one suffers or enjoys material life. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is all powerful and, and he awards the results of one's putative activities. Thus, although one living entity's duration of life is very small, whereas that of another is very great, he is always in his transcendental position and there is no question of lessening or increasing his duration of life. The differentiation among varieties of life and the suffering and enjoyment is explained by some to be the result of karma. Others say it is due to nature, others due to time, others due to fate, and still others say that it is due to desire. The absolute truth, transcendence, is never subject to the understanding of imperfect sensory endeavor, nor is he subject to direct experience. He is the master of all varieties of energy, like the full material energy, and no one can understand his plans or actions. Therefore, it should be concluded that although he is the original cause of all causes, no one can know him by mental speculation. My dear son, those yakshas who are descendants of Kubera are not actually the killers of your brother. The birth and death of every living entity are caused by the Supreme, who is certainly the causes of all causes. The Supreme Personality of Godhead creates this material world, maintains it, and annihilates it in due course of time. But because he is transcendental to such activities, he is never affected by ego in such action or by the modes of material nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the super soul of all living entities. He is the controller and maintainer of everyone through the agency of his eternal energy. He creates, maintains, and annihilates everyone. My dear boy Dhruva, please surrender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate goal of the progress of the world. Everyone, including the demigods headed by Brahma, is working under his control, just as a bull prompt by a rope in its nose is controlled by its owner. My dear Dhruva, at the age of only 5 years, you were very grievously afflicted by the words of your mother's co-wife, and you very boldly gave up the protection of your mother and went to the forest to engage in the yogic process for realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As a result of this, you have already achieved the topmost position in all the three worlds. Therefore, my dear Dhruva, please turn your attention to the Supreme Person, who is the infallible Brahman. Face the Supreme Personality of Godhead in your original position, and thus, by self-realization, you will find this material differentiation to be mere flickering. Thus, regaining your natural position and rendering service unto the Supreme Lord, who is all-powerful reservoir of all pleasure and who lives in all living entities as the super soul, you will very soon forget the illusionary understanding of I and my. My dear king, just consider what I have said to you, which will act as medicinal treatment upon disease. Control your anger, for anger is the foremost enemy on the path of spiritual realization. I wish all good fortune for you. Please follow my instructions. A person who desires liberation from this material world should not fall under the control of anger, because when bewildered by anger, one becomes a source of dread for all others. My dear Dhruva, you thought that the Yakshas killed your brother, and therefore you have killed great number of them. But by this action, you have agitated the mind of Lord Shiva's brother, Kubera, who is the treasurer of the demigods. Please note that your actions have been very disrespectful to Kubera and Lord Shiva. For this reason, my son, you should immediately pacify Kubera with gentle words and prayers, and thus his wrath may not affect our family. Thus, Svāyambhuva Manu, after giving instruction to Dhruva Mahārāja, his grandson, received peaceful, respectful absences from him. Then Lord Manu and the great sages went back to the respective homes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Satish Prabhu, thank you very much for reading. How did you find this part of the chapter? What were your observations?
Yes, Prabhu. I think here my key learning is like God is everything, and He is. Sometimes we find how can God be the killer, but there was a beautiful line which said that He is the time itself. So time kind of causes aging and death and other things. And the main aspect is Manu says that don't get angry on the yakshas because they are just the doers, and everything is attributed to the Lord. And when you get angry, you kind of cause greed to others and yourself. So calm down and understand everything is happening through the hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and pay your respectful obeisance to yakshas, God, I think Kuvera, Prabhuji. So long story short, anger is something we should avoid, and always understand that every deed in the world is the hand of Krishna.
Yep. And as you have kind of summarized the learning aspects of anger management, I think we'll spend a little time if we can reach by that time there and benefit from this chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll pick it from the text 13, which can give us starting point. Because this verse is very, very important, because Lord is very satisfied with his devotee. When the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. I don't know if you have read this, but we'll take it from here because we want to understand the glories of Dhruva Maharaj. That is also the reason why Maitreya Rishi is narrating to Vidurji directly after Devahuti and Kardama Muni's pastime. He jumped into the story of Uttanapada, though his youngest brother, but he was picked up because Dhruva Maharaj appeared in his family. And last chapters we went through where we understand who is Dhruva Maharaj, what he achieved, and after the Lord's blessing, what happened to his brother, his stepmother, and due to which anger. Yeah, Dhruva Maharaj is Kshatriya, and in spite of he has achieved perfection. When he is engaged himself in the service of taking care of his kingdom for a good number of years, then he was in the situation of somehow losing his temperament. But here Svāyambhuva Manu is saying the Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. So that is titiksha, titikshaya, karuna, and maitre, and then samanveta, samatvena. Samatvena means equality. So these are the qualities that we need to have, and this is also a door to our freedom. Mm. When we develop tolerance, we are thinking that we are binding ourselves by tolerating others. I'm restricting myself. I'm losing my freedom. Rather, this is actually enabling us freedom because we are not agitated very easily. We are not thinking that I am the, what do we call this, control freak. Hmm? A person who is tolerant, he doesn't immediately take things into action and then start trying to do everything as per his plan, but rather he understands that there is a plan of the Lord, and then because of that, I'm in this situation, there is something to learn. And then mercy. What is the use of all facilities uh, in our hand, but if we cannot show mercy upon others? Mercy is that to see others suffering and to kind of facilitate them with whatever we can give. And if we don't have anything, what still we can give is prayers. And this mercy is very important because this helps us to achieve detachment. Detachment from um, always being selfish. Mercy means the aspect of giving, compassionate, generosity. All this come under uh, expressing mercy. And then friendship. Yeah, we may think that I have nothing to do with others. I have only dealing, direct dealing. No, no one involved between me and my Lord. There is nothing. But the Lord is saying He is very pleased if one is having um, maitreya, which means friendly to others, not to harm others. mm, Try to help whenever possible. And then equality, mm, no partiality. mm. So these are the qualities that are titikshaya karunika maitra Chakhila Jantushu towards all animals Samatvena cha Sarvatma Bhagavan Samprasidati. So this is the most pleasing things that one should have. Um, yeah. And then after saying this, then further, I think with the verse that you read from which, Satish Prabhu, comes a very important verse, which is the um, one who actually satisfies the Supreme Lord during one's lifetime. What is the benefit of that? He becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions. Thus, being freed from all material modes of nature, he achieves ultimate spiritual bliss. Uh, search for happiness has been innate in us. Everyone is looking for happiness that is free flowing, constantly, unlimitedly, always, eternally, uninterrupted. That spiritual bliss is achievable only when we can get free from the gross and subtle material conditioning. The gross conditioning is the conditioning of associating ourselves with this body and being affected by the sense organs, sense enjoyment, sense pleasures, which are promising something which is not eternal. So one has to detach from that. And the next thing is also subtle material conditioning. Yeah, that ahankar. Yeah, so intelligence, mind. These are also covered. By what? By the influences of material modes of nature. So when one is freed from that, what one experiences is unlimited spiritual bliss. So here the Lord is saying one who actually satisfies the Supreme Lord. So the key for achieving that goal is not by making ourselves the master, because we see so many people who have become the masters of their people, master of their even nation, but they are not able to experience happiness, neither happiness for them, neither peace for them, nor for his people. There are still wars because of indifferences. There are So many inconveniences caused upon each other because of not understanding this one principle, that if we want to be happy, we serve the Lord. It is not that because Lord is dissatisfied. It is not that because Lord needs our enjoyment granted upon Him. It's not that. It is not because of all these things. But when we engage ourselves in the service, what are we giving is we are giving our bhava. What is that bhava? Is more towards the love of Godhead. So we want to offer whatever love we have to the Lord, and then this satisfies the Lord. Why? Because after all, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and when we turn our back and then go away, yeah, it is like a very treacherous act, uh, stabbing a dagger in the back. How painful it is. The Lord is all merciful and He is all tolerant, all compassionate. So all these qualities, which which are giving the individual the free will to turn by their own will back. And when one does that, then he is liberated, and then it is all happiness for the Lord and his devotees. So here in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning everyone in this material world is struggling. Where is that? Hmm. Yeah.
It's there in the
No,
first
let
line.
me see.
Everyone in the
Yeah,
material
it was it.
world.
Hmm. This one. Everyone in this material world is struggling hard in order to achieve blissful life. Hmm. We want happiness, happiness. No one wants pain, suffering, distress. People who are even inviting all these things are saying, okay, I want this if others are happy. That is again a quality of a devotee. A devotee is not always thinking, I want to be blissful, I want to be happy. That is my main goal. No. Unfortunately, people do not know how to achieve. Atheists do not believe in God, and certainly they do not please Him. That is clear. Here it is clearly said that upon pleasing the Supreme Lord, one immediately attains spiritual platform and enjoys ultimate blissful life. To become free from material existence means to become free from influence of material nature. So we are being tossed on and off, up and down, burnt on all sides. Why? Because we are under the influence of material nature. Hmm? And we cannot blame the Lord for this. We asked for it, we got it. It is something like, yeah, we ask our parents, I want that, I want this. And if the parents are giving and if we are suffering out of it, it is that we have asked for it. Yeah? Not that they wanted to give it by force. And here the word some prasanne means prasanne means happiness, some prasanne means satisfied. A person should act in such a way that the Lord is satisfied by the activity. It is not that he himself is to be satisfied. Usually, what we select is we select services through which we be satisfied. I, you know what? Today I am a pujari. I want to dress the Lord such a way that I am satisfied. Hmm? But rather, our intention of taking up a service is not to be ourselves satisfied, but actually see what satisfies the other person. Even in our own dealings, also, this is the fact, right? Otherwise, we cannot conquer the person's love. The person, if you think, everyone is giving the same gift, what is so great about this? Everyone is doing this, what is so special that he is bringing? Uh, so, the Lord, to please Him, we need to understand what He likes, and to His satisfaction, we have to serve Him. This is the secret of the process of Bhakti Yoga. Outside of Bhakti Yoga, everyone is trying to satisfy himself. No one is trying to satisfy the Lord. Karmis grossly try to satisfy the senses, but even, and this is about the bodily platform, yeah. And those who are elevated to platform of knowledge, Gyanis, also satisfy themselves in subtle form. Karmis try to satisfy their senses, Jnanis satisfy their subtle activities, mental speculation, and yogis also try to satisfy themselves by thinking that they can achieve different mystic powers. But only devotees try to satisfy the Supreme Lord. For that matter, we are not interested in gaining a whole, what do you call this, intellectual gyan. For us, what little thing I want to know is what pleases the Lord most. If I get to know that, let me already get on to the job of pleasing Him from the process of karma. So that's why devotees' process of self-realization is different from the processes of karmis, jnanis, and yogis. Everyone else is trying to satisfy himself, whereas the devotee tries only to satisfy the Lord. Devotional process completely different from others. Mm. So this is what here we see when so and now after this explanation, now Swayambhu Manu is explaining, trying to understand what is the ultimate cause. Understanding, he's saying the creation. mm, Bhutai. So the creation of material world begins with five elements, and thus everything, including the body of a man or a woman, is created by these elements. So the body, not a man and woman. We are talking about the body of a man and woman are made of what? Five gross elements. And then by the sexual life of man and woman, the number of men and women in this material world are further increased. And here in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning that I don't know if we can bring this up by that how is the progenation happening? Yeah, there are of course the five elements, bodies. Similarly, the bodies of all species of living entities, whether human beings, demigods, animals, or birds, are also created by the same five elements. And by sexual union, they expand into more and more living entities. That is the way of creation. One should not be disturbed by the waves of this creation. Dhruva Maharaj was indirectly advised not to be afflicted by the death of his brother because it's part of the creation. Hmm. Was indirectly advised not to be afflicted by the death of his brother because our relationship with the body is completely material. The real self, spirit, soul is never annihilated or killed. So in this way, he wants to say that, yeah, your brothers, yeah, of course, has mm, been uh, taken away, that he passed away, but don't be so much disturbed just at a bodily level. Then further explanation comes that Manu is saying it is simply by illusory material energy of the Lord and by the interaction of the three modes this whole creation, annihilation, maintenance, everything is taking place. So, and then further he is saying that of course this skipping this we have come across this multiple times, but then this 17th has very important. He's saying the Lord is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. Yeah, because Manu was telling here it is because of material modes of nature, but here he's saying the Lord is beyond it. He is the remote or indirect cause of creation of this material cosmic manifestation. When he gives the impetus, many other causes and effects are produced, and thus the whole universe moves just as iron moves by the integrated force of magnet. And in this, Prabhupada is bringing Bhagavad Gita reference about the jiva. Where is that? In Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that Lord impregnates the material energy with the part and parcel jivas, and thus different forms of different activities and different activities immediately ensue. And here, this part, uh, and even below. In Darwin's theory, there is no acceptance of living entity as spirit soul, and therefore his explanation of evolution is incomplete. Uh, but Shastras are saying that inside this body is the living entity, the spirit soul. Varieties of phenomena occur within this universe on account of action and reaction of three modes, but original creator or the cause is the Supreme Lord. Nimitta Matram. Here, here as Nimitta Matra is not like okay, he is inactive. It doesn't mean he is inactive. He is a remote cause. Hmm. That direct action reaction are still carried out by the jivas, but the impetus of whole creation is done by the Lord. He simply pushes the wheel with his energy. Hmm. And yeah, Yeah, so in that way, we see that though the Jiva is pushing himself to all kinds of troubles and dualities and everything, but the initial, the creation of everything, it is the Supreme Lord. And then Lord's inconceivable energies. What are these energies? So, time causes the interaction of the three modes, and thus varieties of energy become manifest. It appears that he is acting, but he is not acting. He is killing, but he is not killer. Thus, it is understood that only by his inconceivable power is everything happening. This is our challenge because what we cannot understand, we think that doesn't exist. Uh, yeah, here we see that Durvibhavya means inconceivable by our tiny brain. Vibhakta Virya means divided in varieties of potencies. So the example given here helps us to understand this, that we better understand the mercy of the God by an example. A government state is always supposed to be merciful, but sometimes in order to keep law and order, the government employs its police force, and thus punishment is meted on to the rebellious citizens. So we see that if we are in this world, it is not because the Lord wanted to create and put us into a torturous situation and then He can seek gain pleasure of it. No, it is that we desire to have this. So, because we became rebellious, and that's why we got this. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is always merciful and full of transcendental qualities, but certain individuals have forgotten the relationship. So, now whom to blame? And having endeavored to lord it over material nature, which is not the right attitude. So it is incorrect to argue, however, that because energy issues from the Supreme Lord, he is the actor. No, he is a nimittamat. He is giving everything. Uh, if he is providing everything, and how, just like for example, the Lord has created all the ingredients that can be made an atomic nuclear power or a weapon. The Lord has created that, and how one engages that for a good or a bad cause results accordingly. The results or reactions. So the Lord has provided everything. It is not within the power of one's small brain to comprehend unless one accepts the inconceivable for power, because we need a lot of refining in our thought process and a lot of understanding about the Lord. Only then we can understand the greatness of the Lord. Otherwise, we may think enviously about how can Lord be so disheartful, how can Lord be that, how can Lord be this. Why? Because His inconceivable power is very difficult to understand. Only if He, only if He can remove the curtain of this, uh, what do we call, curtain of ambiguity, to resolve this contradictory, um, seemingly contradictory statements about the Lord. Uh, that curtain, the Lord, only Lord can remove that. And to whom He will remove that? Who are not envious. The forces which act are certainly set up by the Supreme Lord, but He is always aloof from their action and reaction. Hmm. How the Lord acts is nicely explained in Vishnu Puran. Fire is situated in one place, while the heat and light produced by the fire acts in many different ways. Another example given is that electric powerhouse is situated in one place, but by its energy, many different types of machinery move. The production is never identical with the original source of energy, but the original source of energy, being the prime factor, is simultaneously one with and different from the product. Hmm. This is what Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva. Achintya means what we can understand, what we can think of. Achintya means beyond our thinking capacity. Bheda Abheda Tattva. Bhed means different, Abheda means oneness. So it is same and at the same time different. How is it possible? That is only possible when we can improve our vision. is a perfect way of understanding. Because it is also very difficult, that's why we don't take that path. In this material world, the Lord incarnates in three forms as Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, by which he takes charge of three modes of nature. By his incarnation as Brahma, he creates, as Vishnu, he maintains, and Shiva, he annihilates. So, which means we can say that Lord is a creator, maintainer, and destroyer, and at the same time, he is also aloof of it. But the original source of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, is always apart from these actions and reactions of material nature. So this way, this is one. It shows the inconceivable power. mm, It is not that our logic can help us. Only a knowledge is given by the acharyas through which we can understand. And then here he's saying, Manu is saying, my dear Dhruva, the personality of Godhead is ever existing, but in the form of time, he is the killer of everything. So the aspect of time, which is indestructible, beginningless, and inexhaustible, yet he causes birth and death. So which means the Lord is like, I think in the purport there is very nice word. Mm, an example here. Did we cover? Yeah, this is example. An example can help us to understand the inconceivable mm, potency of the Supreme Lord. In the recent history of warfare, the Supreme Personality of Godhead created Hitler, and before that, Napoleon, and they each killed many living entities in the war. But in the end, huh, both are also killed. People are still very much interested in writing and reading books about Hitler and Bonaparte and how they killed so many people in war. Year after year, many books are published for public reading regarding this, but no one is researching who killed Hitler and who created such gigantic killer of human beings. The devotees of the Lord are not much interested in study of flickering history of the world. They are interested only in Him who is the original creator, maintainer, and annihilator. Mm, yeah. So here we see that the Lord acts in this way. He cannot be accused of injustice, huh, since He is neutral. So if we become a judge, I know how even petty cases are taking years together to solve. Yeah, who is right, who is wrong, who is accused, who is the convict, and all these things are going on for a human being. A human being is not able to sort out. That's why there are, what is it called? Why the postponement, right? The case is kept on moving, adjourned, and then again a hearing, next hearing. In this way, how many hearings are coming just to sort out a simple, normal, um, yeah, human issue based on the law? What can we do when it comes to judging the greatness of the Lord? It's not at all possible. Achintya Bheda Tattva. Who is expert to really understand this and sort it out? Only the devotee can appreciate as it is. What Lord has done is right or wrong. He accepts everything. Whatever Lord does is always right. That is what is Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva. Uh, just like this cobbler, when he came to know that the whole banyan tree, no, sorry, what is that? When he was told that Lord is passing um, the elephant through the needle eye of a needle. Mm. And then, yeah, cobbler said, yeah, why not? Lord's leelas are amazing, and it's very well possible when he can make a small seed to grow into a big banyan tree. Uh, why can't he do this? So that is the understanding. In that spirit, then only we can understand the Lord. And nothing is impossible to the Lord. Everything is possible, and seemingly contradictory things is also possible by the energies of the Lord. And then we come to the very important points here. These two are very nice. Huh? Here he's saying the Supreme Lord, in his feature of eternal time, is present in the material world and is neutral towards everyone. This is first thing. He's neutral. No one is his friend, nor no one is his enemy. Hmm. He's not partial. Within the jurisdiction of time, everyone enjoys or suffers his own karmic or fruitive activities. As when the wind blows, small particles of dust fly in the air, according to our karma, we also suffer or enjoy. So this is the example. Just what is that? The wind has blown, and immediately the small dust particles are flying. Similarly, when the karma fructifies, that we undergo the reactions, then we go through that suffering or enjoyment. Then this is even more. And here in the Vishnu is all powerful, and he awards results of one's fruitive activity. So he's awarding. Thus, although one living entity's duration of life is very small, whereas that of another is very great, he is always in transcendental position, and therefore no question of lessening or increasing his duration. PM, yeah, I mean, the living entity, because of his karmic reactions, and uh, yeah, he is granted certain duration of life, but Lord is not under such a jurisdiction of making mistakes, or there is someone who is penalizing, oh, you did something wrong. No, he's beyond it. He's always in his transcendental position. And then this third is coming because of Lord's inconceivable potencies, energies, and activities. One cannot understand. That's why what is happening? Different people are coming with different understandings and conclusions. One is taking up to Mimamsa. Hmm, yeah. Kechit karma vadanti enam swabhava. Someone is saying vadanti means people who vadan. Vadan means to argue or explain. Kechit some karma, some say it's karma. What is that? Coming under Mimamsa philosophy. I think it's in the different types of philosophers. One is Mimamsaka, who always think about karma is the cause of everything. And then there is atheist. Hmm, atheist, why we mention here is that swabhava. Yeah, they say just it's nature. It's your own nature, based on which you are suffering, you're enjoying. There is this Charvak Siddhanta. Charvak Siddhanta is saying that there is no heaven, there is no hell, everything is in this world. If you do good, you enjoy. If you do bad, you suffer. If you, the demigods, everything, this is what Charvak Siddhanta says. And then there is this uh, mm, Vyavaharika. Mm, Vyavaharika means, where is that? Swabhava, Kala, Pumsa. We come to that. Vyavaharikas, this philosophy is about time, you see, and then there is the another type of philosophers called sexualists, and so many other classifications of mental speculators are there. The real conclusion is that uh, yeah, the astrologers, what they say, astronomers or astrologers, what they say, these planets are like this, the grahas have this power that they are revolving and they are coming closer. When they come closer, they have their influence on people. So, in that way, people say that it is because of the astronomical, astrological, different reasoning that is there. Mm. The real conclusion is that it is our work only that binds us within this material world in different varieties of life. However, these varieties have sprung up, is explained in Vedas. It is due to the desire of living entity. So, the living entity is not a dead stone. He has different varieties of desire or karma. Yeah. And because of these desires, one is going through the effects of it. This karma cannot be annihilated. There are so many philosophers who say that if one gives up his desires, he again becomes liberated. But it is not at all possible to give up desire, for desire is a symptom of living entity. If that means there can be no one without any desire, but what kind of desire is very favorable? That is important. If there were no desire, then living entity would be a dead stone. Sri Narottama Das Thakur therefore advises that one turns his desire towards serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not Vairagya that can make us free. It is the Yukta Vairagya, using our intelligence in the right way, applying it in what? In way such a way that we get detached. Then desire becomes purified. When one's desires are purified, one becomes liberated from all material contamination. The conclusion is that different philosophers' theories to explain varieties of life and their pleasure and pain are all imperfect. The real explanation is that we are eternal servants of God, and that as soon as we forget this relationship, we are thrown in this material world. That is the root cause of our suffering. So, we are drawn into this material world by desire. hmm, But the same desire must be purified and employed in the devotional service. So, this once again says that it was that we were rebellious with our desires, due to which we are in this situation. So, but none of the above philosophers, yeah, have spoken absolute truth. Yeah, they are just saying, okay, this is the reason, this is the reason. But beyond all this, that is the next verse. Um, I think 23. Hmm. So here is saying, no philosopher. Hmm. The absolute transcendence is never subject to understanding of the imperfect sensory endeavor. So, with our imperfect senses, we cannot understand the Lord. He is the master of varieties of energies, like the full metal energy, and no one can understand his plans or actions. Therefore, it is should be concluded that although he is the original cause of all causes, no one can know him by mental speculation. So. There is also the, is it Mr. Frog example? Yeah, here. It was impossible to, yeah, I think we know this Mr. Frog story. Um, the story is that a frog in a 3-foot well wanted to calculate the length and breadth of the Atlantic Ocean on the basis of his knowledge of his own well. So, with a well, how much knowledge can he have? But it was an impossible task for Dr. Frog. A person may be a great academician, scholar or professor, but he cannot speculate and explain the understanding of the absolute truth. Avyakta. The word avyakta in this verse indicates that the absolute truth cannot be manifested by any strain of so-called scientific advancement. Hmm. And this is, I thought I have covered all this chapter because I have read at least 5-6 times. I really like some points which here is saying we want to understand what is Atma Tattva. The absolute truth may be known in the same way as the sun covered by a cloud or covered by night. For when the sun rises in the morning in its own way, then everything can be seen, can see the sun. Everyone can see the sun, everyone can see the world, and everyone can see himself. This understanding of self-realization is called Atma Tattva. And how can one get that? Unless, however, one comes to this point of understanding Atma Tattva, one remains in the darkness in which he was born. Under the circumstances, no one can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is equipped with varieties of energies. Uh, Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. He is equipped with energy of eternal time. Not only does he have the material energy, which we see and experience, but he has also many reserve energies that he can manifest in due course of time. So this only should help us understand that Lord is inconceivable. Hmm. Lord is inconceivable, and his energies are inconceivable. Yeah. So we come to this third 24. Hmm, 24, right? So here now he's saying, my dear son, those yakshas who are descendants of Kuvera are not actually the killer of your brother. Uh, the birth and death of every living entity are caused by the Supreme, who is certainly the cause of all causes. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead creates this material world, maintains it, annihilates it in due course of time. But because he is transcendental to such activities, he is never affected by ego in such action or by the modes of material nature. And then now we come to how come that Lord can be aloof of all what's happening. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the super soul of all living entities. He is the controller and maintainer of everything, everyone. Through the agents of external energy, he creates, maintains, and annihilates everyone. So here, Manu is saying, uh, please surrender to the Lord, who is the ultimate goal of the progress of world. Everyone, including the demigods headed by Lord Brahma, is working under his control. Just as bull prompted by a rope in its nose is controlled by its owner. So this example shows that even the demigods, mm, who, I mean, not all living entities, all living entities have the free will. And when sometimes employing this free will, it could be like we want to lord it over. So that's why there is a control. Yeah, we know that how Indra misused his position. We know, yeah, different examples how the demigods lost their sense control. So here it is said that the Supreme Lord is the one who is supreme controller. And then now comes, yeah, your achievement, yeah, is what? You're just a 5 year old. You gave up everything. As a result of this, you have already achieved the topmost position in all the three worlds. Hmm. So now why you want to again get up, messed up and caught up in all these things? Please turn your attention to the Supreme Lord. Face the Supreme Personality of Godhead in your original position, and thus, by self realization, you will find this material differentiation to be merely flickering. So, he's saying, still, don't be carried away with your attachment to your brother and all these things. Uh, no, you come back to your own constitutional position, understand who you are. Uh, so, mm, here, Nirgunam, here it says. तमेनं अङ्गात्मनि मुक्तविग्रहे व्यपाश्रितं nirgunam ekaksharam. Yeah, here is nirgunam, the Lord. Take shelter of Lord who is having no material qualities. And ekam aksharam. Here, infallible. Akshara means that doesn't deteriorate. Atmanam Atmanam Anvicha Vimuktam Atma Drig. So, uh, Vimuktam. Yeah, Vimukta means Mukti means liberation. Vimukta means uncontaminated. That Lord is uncontaminated, free from. Uh, Yasmin idam vedam asat pratiyate. So here is saying it appears um, the Lord is beyond all this asat, and bheda and differences. Therefore, my dear Dhruva, please turn your attention to the Supreme Lord, who is infallible Brahman. Face the Supreme Lord in your original position, thus be satisfied. Serve Him. And here, factually, no one is an enemy or a friend. Everyone is passing through different types of bodies under the laws of karma, but as soon as one is situated in spiritual identity, then what is happening? He does not see differentiation in terms of this law. ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा न सोचति न कांक्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्तिं लभते param. So that is the position of a devotee, that he has no longing. Mm. A devotee who is already liberated does not see differentiation in terms of outward body. He sees all living entities as spirit souls, eternal servants of the Lord. Dhruva Maharaj was advised by the Lord, by Lord Manu, to see with that vision. Such observation of differentiation subdues one as soon as one is situated in his original position. So, what is the way out? What is the escape for it? Is to refine our consciousness, become Krishna conscious. Then all these dualities will not play a big role in us. And now we come to these two verses, which is telling about the root cause of our anger and how to overcome it. त्वं प्रत्यग आत्मनि तदा भगवती अनंत अनंत आनंद मात्र उपपन्न समस्त शक्तौ भक्तिं विधाय परमां सनकैर अविद्य ग्रंथिं विभेत्स्यसि ममाहम इति प्रारुधम. So if one is fixed completely in real understanding, then there is no problem. Thus, regaining your natural position, rendering service to the Lord, who is all powerful reservoir of all pleasure and who lives in all living entities as a super soul, what happens? You will very soon forget the illusory understanding of I and mine. We are all struggling in this world because of this avidya, this Sanaka. Very soon, avidya, illusory, granthim. Granthim means knots or blockages. Granthim, vibhetsyasi. Uh, and then what will happen? We will come up free from understanding that I am mine. This all uh, conditions are gone. Otherwise, what will happen? The cause of anger. Here is saying, samyacha rosha. Rosha means anger. Samyacha rosha bhadramte. Be careful. Uh, Pratipam shreyasam param. Shrutena bhuyasa rajan. Agadena yathamayam. So here is saying, just consider what I have said to you, which will act as a medicinal treatment upon disease. And this disease is what? Anger. Anger is such a disease which can burn our own self. Not only that, with our anger, we are thinking that with that anger we are able to control everything. We are able to burn others to our favor. No, we are also actually burning at the same time. Just like this, what is it called? The candle. Mm, the rope is burning. The rope is burning. Uh, it's not like the rope is alive forever. As and when this candle is lit, all the time the rope is also burning and shrinking and shrinking. So there is also a loss in this. So the fire is also consuming the rope. Uh, so the anger, yeah, control your anger. For anger is the foremost enemy of the path of self-realization. And then he blessed him. Follow my instructions, or everything will be good. So this um, this verse and next verse together we can discuss. Dhruva was already was a liberated soul, and actually he was not angry with anyone. But because he was the ruler, he was. It was his duty to become angry for some time in order to keep the law and order. His brother Uttama was without fault, yet he was killed by one of the yakshas. Uh, and it was the duty of Dhruva Maharaj to kill the offender. Hmm. So someone were asking, right? That's the reason. When the challenge came, Dhruva Maharaj fought vehemently and punished the yakshas sufficiently. But anger is such that if one increases it, it increases unlimitedly. In order that Dhruva Maharaj's kingly anger not exceed the limit, Manu was kind enough to check his grandson. So this is what this anger, in the fire of anger, what it can do is, we know, we know if there is a small fire in some corner of the house, within no time this whole house is burned. That is like that. Anger is also. We think that okay, I am having complete control of my anger. It's not so easy. It's not so easy to have complete control of one's anger. And here, that's the reason Swayambhu Manu is telling Dhruva Maharaj that, yeah, check your anger. The words Stutena Bhuyasa, by constant hearing, are very important. This verse. By constant hearing about devotional service, one can check the force of anger, which is detrimental to the process of devotional service. So, if people ask me what is the trick, how to handle anger, by practicing bhakti, anger will subside. We ourselves can check our own, how we were before, how we are now. We can also see how great personalities exercise uh, anger only when it's really helping in service. By constantly hearing about devotional service, one can check the force of anger. And then Srila Parikshit Maharaj said that the constant hearing of pastimes of the Lord is Pinakya, the medicine for all mental diseases. Everyone therefore should hear about the Supreme Person of Godhead constantly. By hearing, one can always remain in equilibrium, and thus his progress in spiritual life will not be hampered. So, The medicine for all kinds of diseases, including anger, uh, is by hearing Harikatha. Dhruva Maharaj becoming angry with the miscreants was quite appropriate. There is a short story in this connection that we know that a snake, I think we know this, that um, yeah, this snake became a devotee or a disciple of Narad Muni and took the instructions, who instructed him not to bite anyone. Since ordinarily a snake's business is to fatally bite other living entities, as a devotee he was forbidden to do so. Unfortunately, people took advantage of it, and then especially the children who began to throw stones at him. He did not bite anyone. However, because it was the instruction of his spiritual master, he did that. After a while, when the snake met his spiritual master, Narad Muni, he complained, I have given up the bad habit of biting innocent living entities, but they are mistreating me by throwing stones uh, at me. Upon hearing this, Narad Muni said, don't bite, but do not forget to expand your hood as if you were being going to bite. Then they will go away. So, similarly, a devotee is always non-violent. He is qualified with all good characteristics. But in the common world, when there is mischief made by others, he should not forget to become angry, at least for the time being, in order to drive away the miscreants. So this is telling why Dhruv Maharaj was angry, and the verse 32 is also in the same connection. Here is saying, a person who desires liberation from this material world should not fall under the control of anger, because when bewildered by anger, one becomes a source of dread, a source of fear for all others. What is happening if someone is angry? Uh, do we want to go and approach the person? No, we want to escape because of fear. So, an angry person is dread for a source of apprehension or fear for all others. So they prefer, let me not go and work with him. Rather, I would just um, happy to do it myself, or with some people who, yeah, even if they don't know everything, but if they are friendly, happy, not punishing, not scolding, not correcting, let me deal with them. That is better. Yeah. So here Swayambhuva Manu is saying a person who desires liberation from this world should not fall under the control of anger, because when bewildered by anger, one forgets, and then he becomes yeah, what do we call? Yeah, here there is an example, however, of Jesus Christ who had enemies and they crucified him. The demonics are always present and they find faults even in saintly persons. But a saintly person never becomes angry, even if there is very great provocation. Hmm? We cannot say, okay, let me, yeah, after all, anger is also one of the qualities given by the Lord. Let me use it. It's harmful. And then Swayambhuman is saying that please pacify brother of what is that? Where is it given? Treasure, yeah. Lord Shiva's brother Kuvera, who is the treasurer of demigods. Please note that your actions have been very disrespectful to Kuvera and Lord Shiva. So here it says Lord Manu stated why, because Dhruva Maharaj had been offensive to Lord Shiva and his brother Kuvera, because Yakshas belong to Kuvera's family. They were not ordinary people. As such, they have been described as Punya Jana, pious men. Somehow or other, the mind of Kuvera had been agitated, and Dhruva Maharaj has to pacify. Why? Because he wants to achieve perfection. How can he have someone displeased? Yeah, there is still some work to do. And then here is saying, for this reason, my son, you should immediately pacify Kuber with gentle words and prayers, and thus his wrath may not affect our family. This is also family advice. Also, we can take it deeper. Yeah, Manu means we are Manushya, so we are also belonging to Swayambhu Manu family. So we should also take this advice to pacify when we agitate someone. Evam Swayambhu Manu Pautram Anu Anus Anusasya Manur Dhruvam. Tena Abhivandita Sakham, and then he left Rishibhi Swapuram Yayo. Then Lord Manu and great sages went back to their respective homes. Thank you very much. Uh, at least speaking, I could manage to finish. I don't know to what depth we could go, but I think it was okay to cover a few important points. Any questions? Anyone want to add, share something?
Hare Krishna,
Or your
Prabhuji.
question is clarified? Yeah, Dina Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the class. Prabhuji, while going through the purports, this basic question always comes that how shall Vaishnavas deal with miscreants in this Kali Yuga? So I mean, in this session also, Dhruva Maharaj, went after all the yakshas, because of anger. And even yesterday, I mean, in our Sundarakanda session also, Lord Hanuman, greatest Vaishnava, but still he had to burn Lanka. I mean, in order to fight against the miscreants. So how do we take these lessons that how a Vaishnava should deal with miscreants in this current Kali Yuga?
At least not becoming jihadis.
Mm.
Thinking, oh yeah, Lord has said that we should correct. I think first thing is we should correct ourselves.
Mm. Yes, Prabhuji.
Correct ourselves, then we purify ourselves. When we purify ourselves, we have right vision. When we have right vision, then we take
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think the voice was breaking for a few seconds.
actions. It's something when okay. Is it Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
I think there was some internet issue.
Mm.
Can I say now? Let me know if you can hear well.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, now it is okay.
Yeah, what I was saying is that first we should purify our consciousness. First, we should understand who is really miscreant.
Yes, Prabhuji.
If we don't understand who is a miscreant, then what we are creating is only inconvenience, disturbance. So first we understand that who is a devotee, who is non-devotee, that clarity we should have, and then we should also understand what is our position. Am I qualified to correct things? And if yes, to what extent? Otherwise, to what should be our approach? I was giving example of there was this people wanted to ban Bhagavad Gita in Russia. I think you may know it. Huh? Then considering Bhagavad Gita as a what kind of book was it? Provoking and antisocial book. So it created a lot of turmoil, but yeah, the devotees they know how to approach. They took support from various religious organizations and even to the prime minister, and then prime minister could explain and make it clear that this is not that this is a religious sacred scripture. It is not to make rational or racistic, but rather it is so scientific and all these things. And then finally they had accepted. They didn't ban it. So because yeah, I'm talking about saintly people. They know the worth of it and they know how to really take over and such a way that the miscreants are corrected. They don't see that, okay, let me punish, let me take a revenge because of what I have done. Yeah, usually what happens is activists, what they do is they think that I am given full license to fight. That is my right to protect my religion. That is my right. Yes, but are we pure? Are we pure? Are we really following the teachings of our own religion? Huh? Our own teachings are also saying that one should be very peaceful, one should be very merciful, compassionate. If we are applying these, then our vision is clear that to understand what is happening, what should be done. And coming back to Lanka, I mean, I'll come to that burning of Lanka in maybe sixth day, I
Yeah,
think.
yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
That in that case, we see what what Hanuman did is
Hmm.
how nicely it is justified.
Yes,
And
Prabhuji.
but for us, our actions, can we are we qualified to take over charge? Not everyone is becoming a police officer, right? Though you may have very nice, good thoughts, social mode of goodness, everything is there. But who is qualified to fire the gun?
The one who is trained.
One who is trained how to exercise the right power.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So one qualifies. When one qualifies, then
Hmm.
he can take things under control. Uh, yeah, lawfully, rightfully. And then when he does it, then they are applauded. And when a terrorist is firing someone, he's not applauded, he's punished.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Uh, so this anger is more of a self. We are disturbed, that's why we want to rectify
Hmm.
it. Rather, anger should be that, okay, service is disturbed, so we have to correct. And just like, yeah, okay, if something is in our hands, we should do it. If something is not in our hands, we should go to the people who have power to correct. We approach them. And yeah, if they take over, take care of that service, and if they do it in a way that is
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
He's
What is it?
frozen. Yeah.
Ah, yes. Okay.
is it my side? I can't hear the Natram.
I think your voice was frozen, Prabhuji, for a few seconds.
My voice or your voice?
I think your voice, Prabhuji. I think everyone had the same observation.
Okay. No, I was asking, was it, yeah, did it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. I think the Bhagavad Gita example, I mean, which happened in Russia, I think, yeah, I mean, we can learn a lot from that, because usually in the current world, if something good gets banned, the activists start protesting on the street. Like, why? I mean, I think this is a wrong way of doing it. But in case of Bhagavad Gita getting banned in Russia, I think they went to the prime minister or the topmost head of the state, uh,
Yeah.
discussed correctly, and highlighted the importance of Gita. So I think this thought approach is missing in the other regions of the world. If something
Yeah.
uh, gets banned, and they went in protest mode, they go in protest mode actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I think protest is the easiest thing because it attracts a lot of attention.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Yeah. Mm.
So even if we want to strike, we can have a lot of attention. And
Mm.
yeah, but I think that will only create more disturbance.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Yeah.
So everything has its own way of how to solve. And yeah, that's the reason we need to take shelter of the administration, management, and all this. Why? Because they are trained to handle situations in a more
Mm.
matured way. Just like, for example, if there is a what do you call this? LOC, line of control. Yeah, if there is
Mm.
conflicts between that, yeah, common man is rising all lights and flags and all nonsense, but yeah, the one who is actually authorized and power to sort out is the external minister. Mm.
Yes, Prabhuji.
One can simply sit at home and can tell, hey, that person has done wrong, this person has done wrong, uh, but yeah, it won't bring anything. It is right. Yeah, if we are really so careful, we should select the right people in the right seats, right position, and expect them to take care. Yeah,
Yes,
this is
Prabhu.
also one of the instructions of Lord Ram given to Bharat when Bharat comes to take back Ram to Ayodhya. At that time, Ram says no. Actually, he first asks, "How are you ruling?" And then he's asking all the things. Have you taken care of them? Have you taken care of this? Huh? If you have to take a decision, don't delay so long, and at the same time, don't give any instant solution. You have to be very, very expert in in giving in solving the problems within fair time. So many instructions. So that's the reason why we say Rama Raja, right? Why? Because it's not just on emotions or feelings, but it is on the teachings of the Lord how to rule. Yep.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah,
Yep. Thank you.
yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank
Mhm.
Prabhuji, I have. Could you please elaborate, Prabhuji, on the protest that we have done in front of the Bangladesh embassies in India, and when the something happened in Bangladesh temples, how we can
Mhm.
see those things, Prabhuji?
See, what we do, how we do is, yeah, we want to, when it comes to Bangladesh, we see that how much percentage is the Hindus there? Very less. 9%. Apu Prabhu, how much is that? Apu Prabhu is there. Yeah.
Less than 3%.
Less than
3%.
the whole Bangladesh Hindus
Uh,
in Bangladesh, 3%. Now, Venimada Prabhu, yeah. So in that case, can 3% mm, attract the attention of remaining so easily? And who is the authorities there?
Yeah, they mainly focus on the Islamic religion. They don't
Mhm.
consider our protest at
Yeah.
all.
So when we do not, when the authorities do not hear, then the protest comes. I think in 3 chapters later we will be discussing about King Vena and how the protests of Brahmanas, yeah, happened. When king was thinking that, hey, I am the king means I am the Lord. Whatever I do, you have to follow. Don't be envious. Don't be jealous of my position. You just have to serve me because by serving me, you're serving the Lord. Hmm? And that time protests will come. Protests have to come. Yeah. When the management or administration is sleeping, then we have to wake them up. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
The king was even killed.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhu. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. So coming back to this, yeah, that's why we see that okay, this protests definitely there is a protest when citizens are not heard, the citizens have to raise their voice. Hmm? So that still, who is going to sort it out? Still, it is the administration. Hmm? If it is not at a state level solved, it should be at a national level. If it cannot be solved at national level, international, and that's what happened. It is still like the Hindus didn't take guns in their hands and started firing. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hazrat Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhu, you mentioned about the Yaksha, so they were good people and they were related to Kubera. So how they were related to Kubera and to the good family um, culture?
Oh, yeah, Yakshas, yeah, Kuvera. There are these, right? What do they call? There is Devatas, Danavas, and Daityas. So these are the classification of, and we see Yakshas is one class who are expert in magical, yeah, employing magical powers, and but they don't harm, unlike the Daityas. So Kuvera belongs to that. So they are having this powers. If you remember, there is this. lineage. We are talking about lineage of in Mahabharata. Yaksha is the one who is asking the questions to Pandavas, and then the Pandavas are one after the other they went, except Yudhishthir Maharaj, who answered all the questions of the Yaksha. So they are special beings. They are noble as per what Bhagavatam is saying, and Kubera belongs to that. So all they are one coming under one lineage. Hmm?
Yes. Okay, Prabhuji. And Yakshas, were they the same that whom were sent by Indra to protect Pandavas when Kauravas were thinking to attack when they were in Vanvas? Were they also? Yes. And then the Arjuna defeated Yakshas from the side of Kauravas, and
I don't remember this. I mean, this I'm here remembering very vaguely. I don't remember
okay.
exactly that.
Yes.
Is this when did this happen?
I mean, when the Pandavas were in Vanvas, and they in the
Okay.
13th, and the Kauravas wanted to check them so that they can go again Vanvas. So
Acha, to
then
find
Indra
them out.
sent,
Hmm.
well, yeah, yeah.
So
The
Indra sent
Kubera,
Yakshas,
yeah, Indra sent. I'm not sure if Yakshas, or that's I wanted to confirm. He
but
sent maybe Yakshas to protect Pandavas, but
okay.
then the Kauravas were unable to fight with Yakshas, or other than the Yudhishthira Maharaj sent Arjuna to help Kauravas, and then Arjuna fought with them and defeated them. Then the Duryodhana gave him a reward to Arjuna, that whatever you want, I will give you.
Hmm. Yeah, I think this is where you are saying when there were some camps. Yeah, I remember. Yakshas, I don't know, but at least yeah, something similar I remember where Yudhishthir Maharaj still protected the Kauravas. Hmm? And no, actually, yeah, you're right. So there were these who came to kill the whole Kauravas. At that time, Arjuna saves, and Yudhishthir Maharaj actually says to protect Kauravas. After all, they are brothers. I don't know yet whether Yakshas. I think there are some others who here who can tell. But Yakshas are just like as we are all humans. Yeah, there is also a special group beings who are Yakshas. It is not like okay, a battalion of people. No, they are special living entities.
Yes, okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, and thank you very much for joining. We'll see us in the evening with Ram Katha. पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.